What's the craziest thing you've overheard on a plane? The lady beside me told me that she was farting a lot, and she didn't care about telling me because she wouldn't see me again. A 5-year-old boy once said, "Dad, can you ask them to pull over so I can go to the toilet?" Haha. There was this kid was behind me that kept telling her dad she lost her tooth, and the dad was disgruntledly trying to find it, and some guy nearby said, "Hey kid, I hear if you lose your tooth on a plane, the tooth fairy gives you $50, to which the dad replied, "Hey look sweetie, the tooth fairy decided to sit next to us on the plane." Everyone is boarded and the plane is in the middle of the taxi when a kid about 10 seats up and on the left side, I was on right side, starts crying and screaming at the top of his lungs, "I need to poop and I'm going to poop," over and over again until the seatbelt signs came off. I've never seen so many worried faces, and the look of panic as the mother picked up the kid and bolted to the toilet. I was sitting next to a father with his small child. The child wouldn't stop hopping around, until the father said, "Sit still and be a good boy or the plane will crash because of you and we will end up dying." Never seen a kid so quiet before. Way too late for anyone to see this, and it wasn't so much overheard as said to me. I was flying alone and this little girl, maybe 5, wandered down the aisle and said hello. I asked where her parents were and she said they died and a police officer was flying with her to take her to her aunt. My brain was not able to conjure any response at all apart from air. Sorry, she asked if she could look out my window, so I moved over to the aisle seat and let her, me continuously looking for a cop that she might be traveling with. She then told me how her parents were driving back from a party last week and their car got pushed off the road by a truck into a tree. She was quietly crying while telling me this story. Suddenly I hear, "Oh, there you are," from the aisle. There's a woman standing there. The girl says, "Hello mommy," and leaves with her. On a charter flight from Goa to the UK, "He's taking ecstasy, and he has a knife in his bag," said an old couple to the stewardess, referring to me. I said, "I don't have a knife, I'm taking Valium. I just want to go to sleep." Stewardess believed me and moved the couple. Pilot accidentally left the intercom switch on. The whole plane heard him say, "Oh. That's weird." Nothing else. Plane took off amid varying levels of anxiety throughout the cabin. I'm here to tell the tale today, so thankfully it wasn't too weird. A guy coming home early to bust a cheating wife. He was on the phone with a friend/family who told him the other guy was at his house ABD, they didn't expect him back until the next week. A small child once told me that she had to fix the plane by lifting the armrest up and down. She also called me a dog-headed boy girl. Roasted. We're running late. But I'm gonna fly it like I stole it. Coolest pilot ever. Nothing too crazy. A couple in their 50s who were all over each other, like tongues and ears, hands and pants, etc. They were busy working out the logistics of their next getaway. They were both cheating on their partners and laughing at how gullible their SOs were believing another business trip would come up so soon. Sat next to a college guy once who, while drinking some alcoholic beverages, started crying and telling me he killed his best friend in a drunk driving accident. Because he had good lawyers, he got off with jail time. He was sobbing and drinking. When we landed, I made sure he was not driving. Not so much what he said, but I sat next to this fully grown man that was playing Plants vs. Zombies the whole 3-hour flight with incredible enthusiasm. Every time a plant got eaten or he killed a difficult zombie, he'd jump in his seat, pump his fist and aggressively whisper "Years, YERRSSS, GERD yes." 2 Mormon missionaries trying to convert the sweet, naive man sitting between them the entire flight. I've told you many times, Brenda, I am not shaving my balls. It's my balls, and I'm a man. He's 17. My dad, to the flight attendant who was about to serve me a Jack and Coke instead of the Coke I had asked for. Killjoy. We aren't cleared to taxi at the moment. We should be taking off within an hour. I was sitting next to a dad and his daughter who was about 5. He was super cool and was chatting away while his daughter started talking to me. She was so sweet and bubbly, and gave way to much information to me. She said something along the lines of, I went to my grandma and grandpa's house and they're married. I wish my dad would marry my mom, but they can't talk to each other, but I always wish they were married like my grandma and grandpa. Her dad would have been horrified. And I was just sad. Some guy told his partner that she didn't need more yarn, and every woman in earshot promptly told him how wrong he was. Before takeoff, after the doors were closed, a kid of about 6/7 years old towards the front of the plane stood up on his seat, faced the rest of the plane and yelled, "We're all gonna die," while his parents tried to pull him back down. There's a bomb on the plane, it's going to go off at, insert time here. As the time he said approached, 10, 9, 8, the police were waiting for him when we got there. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been facing some strong headwinds, and it appears we burned up a little more fuel than we anticipated, so we will be making a diversion to Fiji. This was flying from the US to Australia in a 747. I had seen on the trip map that we had been flying in the wrong direction for like 2+ hours. When we did land, we landed hard, and they told us that because of the landing we had to sit on the ground with the engines off in Fiji in the summer while technicians looked at the plane. When we were airborne again, our destination was fogged out and we diverted from Sydney to Melbourne. I don't ever want to spend 26 hours on a plane again. Have a buddy who's flown many times and is comfortable with it, but he said one time he heard an older, 80s, lady talking about how easy it would be for her to sneak a bomb on the plane. She apparently went into detail with her gals about how exactly she would do it. He said he didn't really worry, it sounded like she was joking, but it made him uneasy because of how simple she made it sound, lol. Yo, are those snakes okay back there? Two guys next to me gloating to each other about how they brutally beat their wife and kids. Then they went on to discuss what would be a reasonable cause to murder them, like if they cheated or stole from you or something. They were giggling like schoolchildren. They definitely did not realize I spoke Spanish and probably thought I couldn't understand them. Edit, I was like 14/15, there was no way I had the balls to say anything to those guys or report anything. On an Aegean flight from Athens, and a baby/toddler kicked apparently was repeatedly kicking the guy's chair in front of him. The guy got up and was angry, threatened to kill the baby. The other father yelled back, threatened to press charges, and they were yelling and ready to fight. They had to be separated. The flight continued, and by the end of the trip, they apologized and it was resolved. When I was 16, I was taking a flight from Oslo to Stockholm, around 45 minutes. Before liftoff, the guy in front of me, around 30 years old, broke up with his GF who sat next to me. They yelled so much and loudly during that flight I had the worst headache when we landed. Why not just wait 45 minutes? Edit, wow, 1K upvotes. Thank you smiling face with smiling eyes. I was once next to this young kid, his dad, mom, and I think one other kid. I'm looking at the kid play on his iPad and playing this guitar game, when I hear the mom tell the dad, "You cheated on me again." She starts to hit him and he completely disregards it, and she says again, "Why did you do it again?"